right, welcome back everyone for another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time, we're going to be looking at those Overwatch 2 patch notes.
Oh, yeah?
From October 15th, 2024.
Very exciting.
And you know what that means?
What's that?
Hero changes.
Big time.
Whole bunch of hero changes.
Yeah, I could shake things up.
We're not just going to run down the list though.
Right.
We're going to really kind of get into why they made the changes and
yeah, the impact.
what they might mean for the game.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always interesting to see, what the developers are thinking and how they're trying to adjust the balance.
Exactly. We've got updates across all three roles: tank, damage, and support.
The whole shebang.
A trifecta. Some of these are pretty significant.
Yeah, some big ones.
Sombra mains.
Oh, boy.
You might want to buckle up.
Hold on tight.
Because things are about to get interesting.
Yeah, the Sombra rework is definitely probably the biggest change in this patch.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Can't wait.
But first, let's start with the tanks.
All right, love me some tanks.
Mauga, everyone's favorite walking inferno.
Oh, yeah, he's a good one.
Getting a little love this time around.
A little bit of love.
Yeah, his incendiary Chaingun's damage over time now lasts for 4 seconds, up from 3.
A whole extra second.
Okay, so a longer burn. What kind of impact do you think this might have on his effectiveness?
Well, it's a buff, right.
Right.
But it's a subtle one. It's not like a massive overhaul or anything.
Right.
But I think it rewards accuracy, especially against smaller targets. If Mauga can really land those shots consistently, I think that extra second of damage over time is going to make him a real threat.
Yeah, ouch. I would not want to be on the receiving end of that.
No, thank you.
Now let's talk about Ramattra. He's been a bit of a...
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of the feedback is centered around his pummel ability.
Yeah.
Players felt it was a bit too easy to, bypass barriers.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it kind of took away that sense of safety you're supposed to have behind a shield.
Right.
So how are the developers addressing this?
Well, they've made a pretty significant change.
Okay.
Pummel will no longer pierce barriers.
Oh, interesting.
However,
okay.
to compensate for this, it's going to deal 2.5 times more damage to barriers directly.
Okay, so it's promoting more strategic gameplay.
Absolutely.
Adds counterplay opportunities.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
It seems to kind of fall in line with this overall theme of encouraging players to use their abilities more thoughtfully.
Speaking of strategic gameplay,
yes,
let's move on to Reinhardt.
The big guy.
He's seen a minor adjustment to his barrier field.
Yeah, so his barrier field health has been reduced from 1,600 to 1,500.
So a slight nerf to his shield.
Yeah, just a little tap.
What was the thinking there?
Well, the developers basically said that Reinhardt's barrier was proving a bit too resilient, making it really difficult for some team compositions to break through and engage effectively.
Makes sense. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Gotta find that balance.
Now let's shift gears and talk about the damage heroes.
All right, let's get into some damage.
Hanzo is getting a little boost to his survivability this time around.
Yeah, he needs it.
Yes, his base health is being increased from 225 to 250.
A little bit more health.
Now this actually reverts a previous change that was made to his health pool.
Yeah, they nerfed him, and now they're buffing him back up.
Why the back and forth?
Well, it's all about adapting to the evolving state of the game.
Yeah.
Remember those weapon damage changes a while back?
Yeah.
Those made Hanzo a bit more vulnerable to burst damage and, quick eliminations.
Okay.
So this health buff is basically just a way to offset that increased vulnerability.
So they're trying to strike a balance.
Exactly.
Between his offensive power and his ability to stay alive in a fight.
Got to be able to dish out.
Right.
Like that.
Okay, let's talk Sojourn. Her changes look a little more...
A little bit more complex.
Complex, yeah.
Yeah, they're multifaceted.
Yeah.
But the overall effect is a buff to her kit.
Okay.
So they've adjusted how her railgun energy works. So it no longer stops degenerating at 25 energy.
Okay.
So that means it will continue to drain even after it reaches that threshold.
Right.
However, the time before it starts degenerating has been increased from 7 to 12 seconds.
Ooh, so she has more time to build up that energy.
Right.
What about her disruptor shot? Any changes there?
Yes. Actually, this is where things get really interesting.
Oh, okay.
Her disruptor shot is receiving a significant damage boost.
Okay.
It's going from 60 damage per second to 80.
Ooh.
And here's the kicker.
What's the kicker?
It will now generate railgun energy based on the damage it deals to enemy players.
Whoa, that's a game changer.
Yeah, big change.
Not only does it deal more damage,
Right.
but it also helps her build up energy for her railgun more quickly.
Exactly. It becomes kind of a combo starter almost.
Right. Okay, deep breaths, everyone. It's time to tackle the Sombra rework. This is the big one.
Yeah, buckle up.
From what I'm seeing, it's more than just a few tweaks.
Yeah.
Her hack ability no longer breaks stealth,
Interesting.
though it does reveal her position temporarily.
You can stay invisible, but they're going to know where you are
Okay.
for a second at least.
The ability lockout duration for hacked enemies is reduced.
Okay.
The stun duration on hacked BOB is also reduced.
All right.
And her translocator cooldown is shorter. However, her EMP ultimate now costs more.
So there's the nerf.
Okay.
They giveth and they taketh away.
So that's just scratching the surface, though.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Oh boy. Okay.
So Sombra's stealth
Yeah.
is no longer a passive ability.
What?
It's now activated by using translocator.
Okay.
And it lasts for 5 seconds.
Interesting.
So you activate it.
Okay.
You got 5 seconds of invisibility.
All right.
Taking damage will briefly reveal her for 1 second
Okay.
instead of ending stealth completely.
Okay. So it's like a little.
Little window
Yeah.
where they can see you,
Right.
but you can still stay hidden.
And blast from the past.
This is a big one.
Her old opportunist passive is back,
Yeah, they brought it back.
increasing her damage against hacked targets
Yep.
and revealing critically injured enemies through walls.
So she's got a lot more information now.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, that's a big change.
What's the overall
Design. Yeah, what are they going for here?
Yeah.
I think they're trying to shift Sombra away from a purely disruptive play style
Okay.
and more towards a lethal
Correct.
flanking role. Get in there, do your damage.
Right.
Get out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty
Big adjustment.
significant adjustment for Sombra players.
Absolutely, yeah. It's gonna be a whole new way to play her.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see
I'm excited to see what people come up with.
how players adapt to this.
Yeah.
You know, we've covered quite a bit of ground already.
We have.
And we haven't even touched on
The support changes.
support.
Yeah, I gotta talk about the healers.
All right, let's dive into those support changes.
Yeah.
Starting with Baptiste, he's getting a nice quality of life improvement.
Yeah, he could use it.
His biotic launcher's primary fire recoil has been reduced
Okay.
by 30%. So less jumpiness when you're trying to, land those healing bursts.
Right, yeah, make it a little smoother.
What's the thinking behind this change?
Well, I think it's less about, increasing his power level.
Okay.
And more about just player fatigue.
Right.
Especially in longer matches.
Yeah.
Managing that recoil could get pretty tiring.
I can imagine, just constantly having to adjust for that.
Yeah, just a little quality of life improvement.
Not a massive game changer,
No.
but definitely a welcome tool.
Absolutely.
Now let's shift our focus to Brigitte.
All right, yeah. What she got?
She's seeing a minor adjustment to her repair pack ability.
Okay.
Cooldown's being increased from 5 to 5.5 seconds.
Okay, half a second.
Half a second.
Doesn't seem like a lot.
Doesn't seem like a lot, but I imagine, in the heat of battle,
Yeah.
it can make a difference.
Every second counts.
Yeah, it's a subtle change, but considering how frequently she uses repair pack,
Yeah, she throws those things out like candy.
this will slightly reduce her overall healing output.
Okay, so a little bit less burst healing.
A little less burst healing,
Gotcha.
requiring her to be more, strategic with those repair packs.
Be a little more thoughtful about it.
It ties into that theme we've been seeing of encouraging more deliberate decision making, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a theme across a lot of these changes.
Interesting.
Less about just spamming abilities and more about really thinking about when and where to use them.
Yeah, I like that.
Makes the game a little bit more skillful.
Okay, last but not least, we have Juno,
Our high-flying support.
who has been making waves
Oh yeah, she's a popular pick
since her arrival.
for good reason.
What's in store for her?
Well, they're making some adjustments to her Meta Blaster.
Okay.
So the fall-off range is being reduced
Okay.
from 30 to 50 meters down to 20 to 35 meters.
Shorter range.
Yep, gotta be a little closer.
And additionally, the healing per projectile is being slightly reduced.
All right, so a little less healing overall.
So shorter range, touch, less healing.
Gotcha.
What was the reasoning behind these changes?
Well, it seems like maybe they felt like her healing output was a bit too high,
Okay.
especially considering her exceptional mobility.
Yeah, she's zippy.
She's so mobile, she can just zip in, heal up her allies, and zip back out.
So these changes are essentially saying if you want to heal effectively as Juno,
You gotta be a little closer.
you gotta be more mindful of your positioning.
Yeah, you can't just be flying all over the place. You gotta actually be near your team.
So it's a classic example of balancing.
High mobility with slightly lower healing output.
Encourages Juno players to really master her movement ability.
Absolutely, gotta get good at those jumps and dodges.
So we've talked about all these individual hero changes.
Yeah.
But what's the bigger picture here?
Yeah.
How might these changes affect the overall meta?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, it's always tricky to predict these things.
Yeah.
With absolute certainty.
Right.
It's a living, breathing game.
It is.
Meta's constantly evolving.
Players are going to find new strategies. They're going to adapt to the changes.
Yeah.
But based on what we've seen, I think we can expect some interesting shifts.
Okay, like what?
Yeah, I mean, like, what's going to be the next big meta?
Yeah, for example, with Sojourn potentially becoming more popular.
Yeah.
Do you think we might see a resurgence of dive compositions?
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Especially she's paired with like a highly mobile tank.
Yeah.
Like a Winston or a Diva.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
I mean, her increased damage output,
Yeah.
combined with the mobility of a dive comp, that could be really scary.
Yeah, create a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah, they'd be all over the place.
We might even see a return
Wouldn't that be something?
of the classic,
Yeah.
Tracer, Genji, Winston dive comp that was so dominant in the, early days of Overwatch.
Back in the day. And with Sombra's increased lethality,
Oh yeah, she's gonna be a menace.
we might see a rise in more aggressive, flank-heavy strategies.
Like absolutely, yeah. I mean, if she can get behind enemy lines and just, burst down those key targets.
Yeah.
Like imagine a Sombra and a Tracer working together, trying to take out, an Ana or a Zenyatta.
Yeah, it's a scary thought.
That's a scary thought.
Support players are going to have to,
Adapt.
really rely on their teammates.
Yeah, they're gonna need some peel.
Yeah, we might see a resurgence in heroes like Brigitte,
Oh yeah, she's good at that.
Lucio, who excel at protecting their teammates,
Yeah, boot those flankers away.
disrupting dives.
For sure.
Maybe teams will, focus on running compositions that have built-in survivability.
Yeah.
Like a Soldier, 76 and May combo.
Oh yeah, they can both kind of take care of themselves.
Yeah, they've both got good self-healing,
Yeah.
hold their own in a fight.
So many possibilities.
I know, it's going to be so interesting to watch the pro scene
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what the pros do with this.
and see how they adapt. I wouldn't be surprised if we see,
Some crazy new comp.
completely new and unexpected compositions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what keeps Overwatch so exciting.
It's always changing.
Meta's constantly evolving.
Yeah,
There's always something new to discover.
absolutely.
It's like a giant game of chess,
I like that analogy.
with each patch kind of shaking up the board,
Yeah,
forcing players to rethink their strategies. So we've covered a lot of ground today,
we have.
but I think the most important takeaway is the meta is about to get a shakeup.
Big time.
Some heroes are getting buffed,
Yeah.
some are getting nerfed. The overall gameplay is shifting
Yeah.
towards more strategic decision making.
You gotta think. You gotta be smart.
It's an exciting time to be an Overwatch player.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
And the conversation doesn't have to end here.
No, not a.
We want to hear from you, our listeners.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
What are your predictions for the future of the Overwatch meta?
Which hero rework are you most excited about?
Are there any changes that have you scratching your head?
Yeah, join the discussion.
And let us know your thoughts.
We love hearing from you guys.
We love hearing from you. We're always eager to discuss the latest happenings in the world of Overwatch.
It's our passion.
Until next time, happy gaming.
And as always, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.